The twist on this variety show is that it stars monsters.
Peter Cullen was the werewolf. What a waste of Peter Cullen.
Everyone told us variety shows are dead.
It's shocking to me that this warranted being created.
It's spooky season, Phelan.
Yeah, not after watching Boo, though.
And it's just sad season.
We now return with Boo.
Guess there was no Halloween in 1980 or 1982 when they re-aired this. Both those years, no Halloween.
Yeah, they were known as the years that Halloween died.
Stop it, please. For God's sake, please stop it. Please stop it. Turn it off. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
We just watched the 1980 comedy special Boo.
Variety show?
It's a variety show. Originally aired on the CBC. We watched a re-airing from 1982, but the twist on this variety show is that it stars monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Get your laughs in!
Come, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We gotta start it how the special starts, like, he's coming out! He's coming! Live from New York, it's Boo!
Live from Transylvania!
Yeah.
Or whatever they did.
Live from the CBC!
Dead from Television Center in Transylvania. It's Boo!
A lot of these sketches are set up like 3-panel comics too. It's just like, I have a bad joke. It's dead. The end.
They have basically no jokes, but I guess to their credit, the sketches last about as long as that nothing joke deserves. Yeah. Instead of like a 5-minute sketch. They do come back to that.
There's like where they have Rip Taylor like chained to the wall, and like we need to come back to that a bunch of times because it's just so funny.
Yeah, Rip Taylor and Dionne Warwick, they're big gets for this.
Yeah. And Peter Cullen was the werewolf.
Starring Peter Cullen.
What a waste of Peter Cullen.
But he gets all those moon jokes, you know?
Yeah, you're kind of hoping you'll hear him talk. Maybe you'll sort of hear some prime in whatever he's doing, but no, all he does is make noises.
He does the thing with his mouth.
The joke is he's a werewolf and he goes crazy at the moon.
Yeah,
it doesn't make him transform because he's always transformed.
Yeah, he just goes
yells
crazy
about the moon.
Yeah, it just makes him, into a lunatic.
A lunatic.
Huh?
That's what the definition of lunatic is. It's insanity brought on by the moon.
The thing that really strikes me about this is that it was bad even then. Because variety shows were dead by 1980.
Yeah, even Boo acknowledges that?
They acknowledge that it's dead. They make many jokes about this and never rise above
million
the fact
where the punchline is dead.
Dead.
We decided to do a variety show because everyone told us variety shows are dead. We knew this was a show for us.
This format is dead. But we're doing it anyway because monsters make it funny.
Yeah.
Tonight I'm going to suck your blood.
This was made by the creator of the Hitchhiker TV series. The writer and creator is Riff Markowitz. He also made the hilarious House of Frightenstein.
To the castle of Count Frightenstein.
Which I'm sure, judging by this material, has to be a lot of the same. But it was like a decade before this, too. He's doing the same shtick terribly. He's like whatever the 1980 equivalent of a boomer is, going like, they just don't make them like they used to, those variety shows. Let's bring that good old format back.
They even have like 2 characters kind of doing that at the diner, I guess it is, where the Wolfman's working.
Right, they're talking about like, the good old days.
Yeah.
Television ain't what it used to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of junk in the air.
Yeah, I guess that's why variety shows are dead.
And then they're trying to think of the name Moon River.
Which makes Peter Cullen go insane and then reverse his footage. couldn't really brake that much, so it will get more mileage if we just have them stop reversed.
We have to speed it up because it wasn't really that funny.
Yeah.
It's still not funny, but...
Yeah, you can tell when they feel like this isn't funny enough, so speed it up and then reverse it, because we sped it up, so we don't have enough time now, so now we have to reverse the footage that's sped up.
The only bit in this I found truly funny was when Rip Torn comes in. This is his introduction.
Rip Taylor, not Rip
Rip
Torn.
Torn. Oh no! If he was in it, it would be really funny. Oh my god. No, when Rip Taylor comes in, this is his introduction. He comes into, for some reason, they're doing the cantina scene from Star Wars. And it's so fucking bad. And he comes in and he starts doing his prop comedy shtick.
Like, they could have set this up to make more sense in the setting, too. Like, this is the next performer. But he doesn't go on stage. He kind of saunters in and then goes behind the bar and then pulls out a bunch of props.
Yeah, like, you're kind of confused, like, what he's doing. Like, he comes out his little tinsel outfit, like, And then he starts doing it to no reaction from the monsters, and that's the funniest part, because that's what that comedy deserves.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of yours. You're in trouble.
I like that, too, of the alien or monsters, whatever they're supposed to be. It's like Darth Vader fucked a Cylon.
Yeah, that's the first one that reacts. Like, they have this close-up of it, like...
That was the biggest laugh, genuine laugh, anyway, that this got out of us, was when it cuts to Darth Vader Cylon, like...
Holy mackerel!
I love it. Rip Taylor, like, he's sort of stringing this prop comedy along as bits, like, within a narrative, but then he just starts giving up and just like, Palm Springs! It's just a palm with a spring on it, and I'm like, ah. Like, okay.
A young Carrot Top watches and takes notes.
Commander, we have an alien in vicinity!
They'll love this at the Luxor.
They should have called this Chairman of the Board. B-O-R-E-D.
Backgammon! Frontgammon!
Boy, Chairman of the Dead!
Box office poison!
We will kill all ratings!
Boo! The show that people are dying to be on.
It's shocking to me that this warranted a re-airing in the United States 2 years later.
Shocking to me that this warranted being created. Frankenstein's worst creation. I've created Boo!
No!
You monster!
This got a fucking standing ovation at the beginning. No,
Wow.
they had to have been prompted to do this.
Yeah, it said like standing.
Standing ovation. Standing ovation up in the... And then people in 1980 are like, I'm bored.
It aired twice and never again.
We don't know that for sure. We just know that
No,
for sure.
Yeah.
We haven't looked it up, but...
Well, if you look it up, it says this special is considered a war crime, so don't re-air this.
I'll hop right to it.
There's so many times where something happens and we're like, what? What was the joke?
Well, either what the hell was actually the joke, or it's so stupid, you're like, what? That was really it?
Yeah, and then they end, like, you think, like, that's the warm-up joke for when they actually get to the funny stuff, and then they just move on to the next bit.
Cut the Rip Taylor on the wall again. There's one part where he comes out as a monk, which is another bit they replay a few times.
Yeah.
Monksters, as Dracula calls it.
They're monksters.
Because that's so funny. Like...
What are a bunch of friars doing on our show?
Those weren't friars. Those were monksters.
The stupid joke is just he pulls up his robe and you see he drew smiley faces on his knees. Like, that's the joke. Da, da, da.
He's like, I got some great material for you guys. Okay, what if I draw some faces on my knees? It's gonna be so funny. And then they're like, yeah, this is good stuff, Rip. Yeah,
Hello, darling.
And then Dionne Warwick is like, all right, when do I come in and sing my songs, please?
Notice they don't actually cut to audience reactions that much because they probably couldn't get them to, so they just had to pipe it in after.
Yeah, I feel like this is a lot of canned laughter. I'm not even entirely convinced the crowd was shot around the same time as what they were doing. I don't know.
Yeah, just got a couple shots of a crowd. Pretend people watched this without dying.
Yeah.
Dead.
They're the real actors, is the crowd. Definitely at the end when they were doing the credits, they piped in a bunch of cheering, because no way were they getting that many whistles and jeers while Dracula's being dragged out his coffin or whatever the fuck.
There's one point in the credits where it's really obvious too, because it's kind of like getting quieter, and then all of a sudden it just goes, ah!
Yeah, they gotta pipe more in, because they're like, oh, we're losing. We can't find a cheer long enough for what Boo deserves.
They couldn't find a blank audio file?
No. Like, we gotta keep it going. What would you say was a highlight and a low light for this?
There's a highlight?
The credits?
Yeah,
I would say a highlight.
Yeah. I guess that Darth Cylon angry reaction. Rip Taylor, it's the highlight. Or when it ends, yeah.
Real low light. What was the least funny bit to me?
There's so many.
There's so many bad bits. I think when they start the cantina scene, and it's just aliens doing cantina bits, but no jokes are happening, you're just supposed to laugh at the fact that aliens are playing cards forever.
It basically comes off like they made the Star Wars Halloween special. Most of them are just alien suits, too, that they've thrown in here. I guess those are supposed to be monsters? I don't know. Just like whatever costumes they had laying around.
Yeah, this feels very inspired by the Star Wars Holiday Special.
What a thing to be inspired by.
But the Star Wars Holiday Special is funnier. Like, it's more watchable. And that begins with, like, 1,000,000 years of Wookiee screams.
This could have used less coherent dialogue. Dracula's just going, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, yeah, that's funnier.
I don't say blah, blah, blah.
Actually, you know what the highlight for me was? The highlight was the commercials in it. When you get all of the jingles that sound like parodies of commercials, like, it's the girls against the guys, and they're drinking Pepsi, sports gum.
It's the scent that lingers.
It's a daydreamer.
Daydreams for memories that linger.
I liked when the commercials were kind of imploding, like the station was trying to kill itself before it came back and finished Boo.
The Frogger commercial was kind of interesting, too.
Yeah, Frogger liked to smoke back then. I had to get Frogger over the lily pad.
This is the new Frogger home video game. Ribbit. It's just like the arcade game.
Back then, the commercials were more interesting than the games. They had that adventure game where the guy's like fighting the dragon, and he comes in like, oh, I love to play games.
I play Exidy's Venture, the video cartridge that plays just like the arcade game.
That was one of the more complex games of that era adventure.
They were playing that game and they were watching Boo. It really was a time, huh?
Yeah. Peter Pan can spread a little sunshine, make it all a fun time. Bring a rainbow just around the bend. Peter Pan.
Hey, Georgie, I've got Peter Pan peanut butter. Wanna bite?
Anything else you want to say about Boo before we wrap this up?
We're wrapping it up already.
Do we need to prolong it?
It's dead already.
I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good about this being a short one.
If you want to watch this for Peter Cullen, absolutely do not, because you're not going to get much of him.
It's free on YouTube, though.
And so it's like at the beginning they announce like Peter Cullen as the Wolfman. You're like, what? And then it takes forever to get to him, and then he's just doing nothing but making noises. That's a low light too, where they have this really long setup where he's being hypnotized by his therapist to not freak out over the word moon. And he's like, when you hear the word moon, you'll think of flowers. So what's the payoff to this long setup? He hears the word flowers and freaks out and reverses the footage. And then Rip Taylor's on the wall again, goes, oh, I'm chained up here.
This is a pretty pretty good reenactment of this, and then they went, disco, disco duck.
Disco fuck.
Blah.
Star Wars, remember that, folks?
And these are my friends.
May you shrivel into nothing.
And those are my friends!
Warning, might not really be my friends. No one likes me.
Phelan, we just got over COVID. Was that better or worse than the special?
No, this was more painful.
Your mere presence will electrify every gathering.
What does that mean?
It means you're gonna be struck by lightning.
At least when you have COVID, you get to rest. There was no rest, despite them having a special effects artist.
For the undead.
Wasn't there a special effects guy named Sleep or something?
Yeah, John Sleep. Know what he was doing?
Do I recommend Boo? If you're really bored, it's on YouTube. If you have other options, you don't need to go out of your way, I think.
If you've run out of everything else on YouTube, there's Boo.
If you really like sports commercials promoting whatever products, you will love this recording of Boo.
And if you really like Halloween, don't watch this.
I'm very sick. Can you come over right away?
I don't make coffin calls.
Yeah, Boo!
Dead! And sometimes Boo itself is the punchline!
We didn't even make a joke. Everyone was saying boo!
Yeah, boo!
Not really boo, yeah.
I was saying Boo Acula. Boo! Boo! Cut to Dar Cylon.
Bleh.
Boo!
You know who's not a scaredy cat? This one.
Except she is.
Ziggy, you want to listen to some jokes about Transylvania?
From the year 1980.
Bleh.
Ha ha ha.
Bleh.